Hello students, how are you? How's your study going on? I am Syed Rashid Ali. Actually, most of my students have requested me to make a video on the newspaper. That's why I am going to make this video. First of all, I would like to shed some light on this topic, which is very important for each one of you. I have got a newspaper for you. This one. This is the Hindu. Actually, before starting my topic, I want to tell you one thing. There are several newspapers around us, but Hindu and the Indian Express are quite popular among the students of UPSC. But as far as other newspapers are concerned, they are also very important, very informative. But most of the students like to read both of them. Now, I come to the main topic. There is a question in front of every student who is preparing for this exam. How to start a newspaper, how to read it. So I will try to explain the importance of the newspaper which I have got. This. First of all, what you have to do is you have to have a look at headlines. The first headline is Omicron new variant of concern. Another one is family-based political parties threat to democracy, says PM. There might be 6 or 7 headlines altogether. You don't need to read the whole newspaper. Otherwise, it would consume your whole day, which is not, possible for the students if you start reading the whole newspaper. So first of all, what you have to do is you have to make a strategy for the newspaper, which would continue for 3 to 4 months. In the beginning, you have to read this newspaper for 1 hour. And when you start feeling comfortable, then you can increase your time, like 2 hours. And after that, you can stop. And the most important thing is, when you start reading the headlines, you have to develop this habit, which would certainly give you a great benefit in future. Like, you have to make some notes of headlines in your notebook. Write down properly, and you have to analyze each news, which is very important for you. You have to analyze that news. Like, how does this news affect our life, our society, and the economy of the country, and the politics of the country as well. When you start reading with this intention, you must be having a lot of information in future, because most of the students do not follow these rules. They just go through newspaper. They don't try to, analyze these things very deeply. So when you do like this, remember one thing: whatever you read, just read it with lot of involvement, with lot of passion. It shouldn't be forgotten at all, because if you if you do this thing, remember one thing, you might be asked this thing in main as well as in interview. So most of the time we keep on making mistakes. We don't make notes at all, just keep the paper aside and move on. No, you have to develop this habit. I'm going to say this thing again. You have to analyze every news in a great manner. When you do like this, one day you will realize you really have done such a great work. And one more thing also. When you start reading the newspaper, during this period of time, you must be criticized for this work by your friends or relatives. They would certainly say that you are wasting your time in reading the newspaper because it won't pay a lot. So actually don't be rash at all. Don't criticize them. You just listen to their opinion and move on. Because they don't have much knowledge about the importance of the newspaper. So that's why they are saying this kind of things. So now, as a whole, if there are many newspapers, as I have said earlier, but you try to concentrate on both newspapers like the Hindu and the Indian Express. When you collect a lot of information, because you can feel this thing, okay, how much information I have gathered from this. So after 3 months or so, you can stop reading the newspaper, because what happens to most of the student is it entirely depends on the memory of the student. How fast you remember all these things. You can stop it. You don't have to continue for 1 year or 2 years. No, you don't have to waste your time at all. You have to only read this thing for 3 months or maximum 4 months. So now I wanted to tell you all these things. Again, I'm saying this thing. Please try to concentrate and focus on your study sincerely. Okay, thank you very much for listening to me.